And go.
Okay, I'm Samantha Wohlheter, and I'm here to discuss free college tuition. It may seem hard to believe, but there was a time when higher education was pretty close to free in this country, at least for many Americans. After World War II, the GI Bill gave free education to more than 2 million veterans, many of whom would otherwise have never been able to go to college. This benefited them, and it was good for the economy and the country too. Major reason for the high productivity and economic growth of our nation during the post-war years. This continues to this day. After 4 years of enrollment in many military branches, college tuition is paid for by the government. So why isn't it free for everyone else? As a college student holding a full-time job, it's already difficult enough to stay up to date on all of my bills and be able to enjoy extracurricular activities. And I'm sure many of you can attest to that as well. Many of us in this room have chosen to further our education with a college degree so that upon graduation we are in a position to make more money, because with more money we are more financially stable. And I'm sure we are all in agreement that more money means less burden. However, the problem with continuing education is the cost of obtaining the degree itself. For the duration it takes for one to obtain a degree, we haven't much to worry about. It's the accruement afterwards that's the big shock. So here's your rock. Crushing debt to begin your career with, and then there's the hard place. The career won't pay you enough due to the loans you took out to educate yourself to begin your career. It is my belief that public universities for higher education should be free. Today, there is universal access to free public schools across the United States for kindergarten through 12th grade. In 1877, Rutherford B. Hayes became the first president to make a strong case for universally available public education. It took populist pressure from progressive movement beginning in 1890s to make widespread access to free public schools a reality. By 1940, half of all young people were graduating from high school. As of 2013, that number was 81%. But that achievement is no longer enough. A college degree is a new high school diploma. In the 1950s and 60s, it was possible to graduate from high school and move right into a high-paying job with benefits because a decent, strong union offered apprenticeships, and a large manufacturing sector provided opportunities for those without an advanced degree. So a couple with a sole breadwinner could buy a home, raise a family, and send their kids to college. That was the American dream. Unfortunately, today, for too many Americans, it's not a possibility. Currently, only 30% of Americans who start college or university end up graduating. And this represents a huge waste of time and money. If students did not have to work while in school, the graduation rate would improve drastically, and students at universities could graduate in 4 years instead of 6 or more years. In fact, the biggest reason why students drop out of higher education is they cannot afford the cost of tuition. According to an article in the Washington Post, today it would take a minimum wage worker an entire year to earn enough to cover an annual in-state tuition at a public university. And that's why so many bright young people don't go to college, don't finish, or graduate deeply in debt. With $1.3 trillion in student loans, Americans are carrying more student debt than credit card or auto loan debt. That's a tragedy for our young people and for our nation. With the $1.3 trillion in mind, the Occupy Student Debt Campaign was launched at Zuccotti Park in November of 2011, with the goal of building a student debt abolition movement. The campaign is based on principles of which we believe there is widespread support for: 1, free public education through federal coverage of tuition fees; 2, zero interest student loans so that no one can profit from them; 3, fiscal transparency at all universities, public as well as private; and 4, elimination of current student debt through a single act of relief. Making college tuition free would cost less than what we already spend on the patchwork of financial aid programs we currently support. According to a recent accounting taken by the U.S. Department of Education, the cost of making college free is $62.6 billion. That's less than 1/10 of the $631 billion defense budget. Making public college tuition free and preventing further debt isn't just a smart investment in our future, it's less expensive than what our federal government spends to make college affordable now. It's a lot cheaper than the $69 billion spent on Pell Grants for low-income students and work-study funding without including federal loan subsidies. Last year, the average annual cost for undergraduate tuition and fees at public colleges and universities was $9,133 for residents and $22,958 for out-of-state residents. Free tuition will lead to the improvement of enrollment status at current universities. It would not only give an opportunity to those who can't afford to attend, but would give our world a higher standard of living. More people will become educated and fill job openings in the market and perhaps lessen the poverty percentage. Furthermore, by removing the need for students to go into debt, the government would allow graduates to be more productive and they would have more money to spend, which in turn would act as a stimulus for the economy. Not only is higher education seen as a key to economic advancement, but if all 18 to 24-year-olds were in college, we would reduce the unemployment rate by 2 million people, and fewer people would be in need of government assistance. Moreover, a federal program to fund higher education would relieve states of having to fund these institutions, which would free up more money for other needed services. Of course, there are reasons beyond economics to provide higher education. Not only do we need a more educated workforce, but we also need more educated citizens. It is also important to point out that people with higher education degrees report higher level of health and happiness. In fact, societies with a high rate of degree attainment have lower crime rates and higher rates of social welfare. So, as I stated, free education has been around for a while. Now it just needs to advance beyond public schools K through 12 and become free for furthering education at higher education institutions. There are many reasons that this would be beneficial, ranging from those already in school and about to graduate to those who want to further their education and enroll in universities, starting with the Occupy the Student Debt campaign and eradicate the debt that those in school already have accrued. Then making tuition free for those who want to enroll by eliminating the imminent debt. As stated before, this would have nothing but positive effect on our economy by boosting the number of those who graduate and move on to fill vacant positions in the job market, thus lessening the percentage of those who are poverty stricken. I hope that the information that I have presented today was enough to make you feel the same way I feel about college tuition for all. I know I would love to be free of student loan debt, wouldn't you?